Hello friends, welcome to Akul Mac Live, and in today's discussion I want to draw your attention to what had happened if India was not divided into multiple countries, and considering the today's political environment, how strong India would have been. So this is only a hypothetical question that I am raising, and I want to pick your brains by giving you certain facts. Now if you go back in Mahabharata's time or Ramayana's time, this whole area was called Aryavat, and it comprises of the South Asia countries, which are primarily about 8 to 9 countries, starting from Afghanistan and all the way going up to Myanmar, which was called Burma, and before that it was called Brahmadesh. So this is the basically the area of Aryavrat, and even Tibet was part of it, which is now part of China. And there was a huge influence of the traditions, Indian traditions, in the neighboring countries. So, for simplicity, I think let's understand that what was the size of Aryavrat. And in today's environment, this area does not exist. In fact, in terms of classifying the South Asia as such, the Burma is part of Southeast Asia. So, considering the political situation that exists in the world today, this is the Southeast Asia map that we see, which includes South Asia map, which includes Afghanistan, but excluding the Tibet area and also the Myanmar. So going forward from here, what had happened if India was not colonized, and if India was not broken apart into multiple countries as we see, like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bhutan, Nepal. So this is only a hypothetical question where I'm raising, which I'm going to analyze what would happen, because Indians have been dreaming to cross $5 trillion mark in terms of combined GDP, and as it is at the current state, we are actually ahead of France and UK globally. But I think there are a lot of issues, so let's tackle one by one. So let's look at the map of the South Asia, which is all these 8, 9 countries. Some of them are very small, some of them are pretty large, and we will actually analyze their population, their demography, and also their GDP. So if you look at India, which is the largest of all these countries, India has actually found a way to govern themselves. They have divided the country into states, and this is a federal structure. There are separate state elections conducted, and each state elect their government, and the government basically run the states, which is pretty much like the US government. There are special states, and there are there are states in India also. So everybody knows about this federal structure, and the best part is states can come and go, and as long as they follow the Constitution of India, which is the law and order, and what are the rights given by the Constitution to the people of India, the living standard across all these states is almost the same. The entire country is united under one constitution. However, the governance, to simplify the governance, because it's such a large country, the governance is divided between central government and about 29 states and union territory. So India is the largest one, and we have figured out how to run such a large country with a huge population. As it is in terms of population, we are number 2 after China, and the population as of estimated population as of 2021, I'm talking about only India, it's 1.39 billion people, almost like 1.4 billion people, with a population growth of 0.97%. So it is slightly lower this year. So population growth has been controlled. Still, we have a lot of people in this country, and we are growing in terms of population, but not as much as China. China is still ahead of us as per the consensus. So if you look at the other parameters, the economy as it stands today, Indian economy stands at $3 trillion, and our target is to achieve $5 trillion, and that is a dream that has been shown by the current central government and also by Prime Minister Modi. and we at $3 trillion, we are just behind China, and number one being US. So we are number three country globally. But in order to achieve the $5 trillion target, I think the easiest method which I am proposing today is basically merger and acquisition, as we do it in the private sector, where in order to grow, we acquire different companies and grow in size. So India can also try doing this, and this is only hypothetical. This is not something that I'm proposing. So if you look at the hypothetical scenario, and if we can, if we are able to unite the South Asia into one federal structure which is democratic, which is including Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and these countries, the effect of this would be tremendous. And not only in terms of population, in terms of governance, in terms of the global economy, and also in terms of Indian economy. Let's look at the current population of the United Bharat, as I want to call it, hypothetically again. That will be about 1.5 billion. So which, if you look at this part, which all these 8 countries get united, which is Maldives, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, then the a number of people who are living in this part of the world would be 1.5 billion, which is almost equal to China's population, and it will be 20% of the global population. So you can imagine a democratic people with federal structure. Every fifth citizen in the world would be an Indian. So this is very interesting, because if we are able to unite neighboring countries, because that was the past of India. India was this chunk of land, and it was called Bharat. So I'm calling this hypothetical land as United Bharat. And now let's come at the united aggregate of the GDP. That will be because currently India being a larger segment in the entire 8 country segment, the GDP of India is about 3 trillion. And if we combine all other countries, it will be 4 trillion. So achieving a 5 trillion target starting from 4 trillion will be a lot easier than starting from 3 trillion. So at 4 trillion, Bharat would be number 3, and US being number 1, China being number 2, and Bharat would be number 3, ahead of France and ahead of UK. So this is the kind of impact we can imagine if we are able to unite the Aryavrat, as it was called during the ancient time, and we will be able to not only solve a lot of these issues which plague our region in terms of demography, in terms of infighting, in terms of some of these terrorist activity which are brewing in the northwest countries. We can solve all these problems because we will be able to implement the rule of law and also democracy in this part of the world, and together united Aryavrat or United Bharat can grow further. And I have done some analysis, and I found that the population would be very, very young of this United Bharat. The average age would be about 27.5 years. So you can imagine the amount of educated people, number of educated people that would exist, trained people that would exist in this part of the world would be, every fifth person would be from India, and this new Bharat would then drive the economy of the world. They would be multilingual, highly educated people, and also well-traveled, and coming from a large democratic and federal country. And then we will be able to live this dream of creating an Aryavrat as we were in the ancient times. So I thought I will talk about this today and pick your brains in terms of what it would be in terms of progress, global progress, and India progress, and also crossing our target of $5 trillion by combining all these countries together. And look at the advantage. We would be able to solve a lot of issues which are happening today. We don't have to maintain such a huge expense, army expense, because we will be able to solve these issues, and we will be able to create democratic alliances across the region. We will be able to create a federal structure, so more people participation and freedom of speech, etc. All of this can be extended to the entire South Asian region. So, friends, let me know what you think about this, and I'm eagerly awaiting your comments, and some of these interesting selected comments I will play in my next Akul Mac Live. Until then, I await your comments and your participation, and I will catch you in the next one.